You are listening to the Legends Lingo podcast, brought to you by CouchGuySports.com. With your host, Al.
Buddy, you were targeted 6 times, you caught 2 receptions, and did nothing else.
Powder.
Yes, sir.
And Fiesta.
He hasn't done jack. They've won one cup and they made a lot of playoff appearances. But he is a snake, oily snake. He's a crook.
Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Legends Lingo podcast, episode 95, the Roman Pfeiffer and Rumors episode. We got a lot of rumors we got to talk about tonight, including our Celtics, including our Patriots, but mostly Celtics. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm your host, Al Nahigian, alongside my 2 co-hosts, Tom Satham Facette. We'll start with you, Fiesta. What's up, bud?
Well, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. Powder, you're a playoff MVP. Show us the award. For those of you watching on YouTube, you see Das Boot, which is also the MVP. What was the final playoff statistics for you, Powder?
I believe I was 6 for 8 with 4 doubles and 8 RBIs.
2 playoff games, and the kid ends up. Were you the 3-hitter in both games?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so the 3-hitter showed up, helped his team in a time of need, got them their second championship in softball. In the Social Boston Sports, which shout out Social Boston Sports, by the way, great league. If anybody's looking for a fun, but yet still a little bit competitive league, check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they run a great ship. They
do. 2-time champions now, but we got to make it 3 in the spring or the summer or the fall, whichever we come back to. But anyways, as always, we are presented by CouchGuySports.com. Go check out everything on Couch Guy. Go check out all the podcasts. Go check out all the written content. Go check out all of the YouTube shows, which obviously we're on YouTube. Couch Guy Sports Podcast is on YouTube. Go check out everything there. The Twitch channel, go check it out. It's up and coming. We have our guys, Waleed, Josh Martin, Ollie Martell, Topher Hurley, a bunch of great guys, and they put out great content on the Twitch channel. So go check that out and subscribe to the Twitch channel. And everything else, I mean, rate and subscribe to us, Legends Lingo. We are on Spotify. We are on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. We're obviously on YouTube under the Couch Guy Sports YouTube channel. So go check that out. That was a mouthful. I need to take a breath for a sec. Okay. Now, let's get into the roll call really quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, shall we?
Yes, sir.
The roll call this week, a lot of trades have already gone down in the NBA as we have the NBA draft tomorrow. So we are recording on Tuesday, November 17th. On Wednesday, November 18th, the NBA draft will be happening. So moves have already been done. The Milwaukee Bucks have been very active so far, making 2 deals. The first one is when they acquired Drew Holiday from the New Orleans Pelicans in exchange for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, 3 first-round picks, and 2 other future pick swaps. So obviously Milwaukee went hard for Drew Holiday, who was also rumored to come to Boston, but we'll talk about that later on in our Celtics talk. The Bucks weren't done yet, though. They also got Bogdan Bogdanović in a sign and trade that sent away Dante DiVincenzo, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson. But the Bucks weren't the only team that made moves around the NBA. The Phoenix Suns also made a big trade, acquiring 10-time All-Star point guard Chris Paul from the Oklahoma City Thunder in exchange for Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen LeCue, and a 2022 first-round pick. So Oklahoma City getting rid of Chris Paul, but obviously getting a big haul in return. Drew Brees. Yes, as in the New Orleans Saints quarterback, Drew Brees. Drew Brees has suffered fractured ribs and a punctured lung versus the San Francisco 49ers, and he will be out for several weeks. Hopefully Drew Brees comes back, because I would like to see him make one more run at a Super Bowl, but that is just me. Theo Epstein. Yeah, as in the former GM of the Boston Red Sox that got their first World Series in 86 years. He was with the Cubs. He's no longer with the Cubs, as he resigned as the Cubs president of baseball operations today, noting that he wants to take a year off from baseball and it is not involved with him being interested in the Phillies or Mets job. Jed Hoyer will take Epstein's role as president of baseball operations. And finally, some cool news coming also out of the MLB is the Marlins named Kim Ng their general manager on Friday, as she becomes the first female general manager in all 4 major North American sports. In case you didn't know, Kim Ng has won 3 World Series titles as an assistant to baseball operations with the Yankees and has done a bunch of other work with the Los Angeles Dodgers and many other teams. So congratulations to Kim, as the Marlins look to be going in a very positive direction. And that is it for the roll call. Before we get into everything else, we have to talk about our friends over at Manscaped. Yes, Manscaped. Support for the Legends Lingo podcast comes from Manscaped, who is our presenting sponsor, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers, say it with me, precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. It's jingle balls to the walls, fellas, so listen up. Untrimmed pubes, they're a thing of the past. It's time to gear up and get yourself the gift of shaving this holiday season, and I'm talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. That's why this revolutionary company, Manscaped, great company, great products, has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 3.0 has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology, so this trimmer cuts on your, well, I think you can fit the rhyme in there. It's also waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. I'm telling you, it's the best place to probably use it. It's waterproof. Put two and two together. Makes sense. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which makes for the perfect gift this holiday season. It's literally everything you need to keep trimmed, cut free, and smelling nice down there too. And don't use the same trimmer on your face as you would shaving down there. That's just disgusting. Do not be animals, okay? Especially if you're going on a first date. If your date found out that you did that, you're probably not getting a second date or a text back after that date. That's just my opinion, though. The Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the Crop Preserver, which is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why aren't you putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And yes, they do stink, okay? I'm talking to you that's watching this right now. Yeah, you. They stink. So make sure you're putting the ball deodorant on. Speaking of sweaty and stinky, balls, I am thankful for the Crop Reviver because this product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking. And these products smell good, and I mean phenomenal. Their manly scent is attractive and will help set the mood, if you know what I'm saying. Thank you. The Perfect Package will also come with a pair of Manscaped boxers that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day. It's time to upgrade those overused pairs of boxers to Manscaped's high-performance anti-chafing boxers. I'm telling you guys, Nick Qualia vouches for them all the time on Couch Guy Sports Podcast. I'm going to vouch for them too. They're great. Get them, especially for thick-thighed guys. You're going to thank me. 'Tis the season to Manscaped, so get yourself, your dad, your brother, your friend's dog, whatever you need. The best gift of all, the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LLP at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping with the code LLP at manscaped.com. One final time, 20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com. Use that promo code LLP. Clean them up this season and make Santa proud this holiday season and this year. So that does it for all the preliminary stuff. We're actually going to talk sports now, guys. I promise. We're actually going to talk about it. So, Patriots, Ravens, Fiesta. I don't do this very often, so take this for what it's worth. I'm going to give you credit because you said something crazy was going to happen. Something weird was going to happen. And the weirdest thing of all happened. The Patriots upset the Ravens. So it was a good game for the most part. The weather started to become a factor late in the second half. Patriots pull away with a 23-17 victory, improves them to 4-5, knocks the Ravens down to 6-3. And I got to tell you guys, a few things stood out to me. First of all, Damian Harris. Damian Harris continues to prove why he is the running back of the future. Had over 120 yards in the first half alone. He looked really good. He looks like a legit NFL running back. The Jacoby Myers trick play, finding out that he was a quarterback in high school, unreal. Great play call by McDaniels, as it turned out. Found Burkhead on the right side of the end zone for a nice trick play, nice score. And I want you guys to answer this honestly really quick. The end of the game, even though it was downpouring, was there a little part of you that was saying Lamar might pull this off? There must have been a little tiny part.
Yeah, definitely. You just thought somehow Patriots would find the way this year is going, the Patriots would lose because all the close games, it seems like the Patriots are finding a way to lose the game, like the Bills game when Cam fumbled.
Yeah, you had a bad feeling that something bad was going to happen. Fee, in that moment, were you thinking the worst?
No. I actually had my take on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They're frauds. They're a good team. They're frauds. I mean, I want to say this right now. The Patriots had an excellent game plan. They punched the Ravens are a team that punches teams in the mouth. They punched them back. No, they punched them and the Ravens didn't get up. I know the score said 23-17, but it felt a lot larger than that. It wasn't just 11. So I'll give the Patriots credit for what it's worth. But, yeah, so there's that. Also, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to continue before I
just really quick. J.C. Jackson, 5th game in a row with an interception. That is a franchise record for most consecutive games with an interception recorded in a game. So that was awesome to see. And yes, Fiesta, credit to the Patriots. They won the game. You know, They didn't turn the ball over. Like you said, they had a great game plan. They were able to contain Lamar Jackson. For me, the turning point in that game, and I say turning point loosely, I say it in the sense that you knew, like Fiesta said, it was going to be a little weird, a little different. The end of the first half, when the Patriots were up 13-10 and Baltimore was driving, then Lamar Jackson threw an interception toward the end of the half to J.C. Jackson. To me, that was the moment where I was like, okay, this could be something. The Patriots have a shot here because they were getting the ball in the second half. They went right down and scored, and they took some time off the clock. They were effective. They were running the ball well. Cam Newton didn't turn the ball over. Turnovers have been the worst enemy of the Patriots this year. So all in all, solid game. Now you got Houston next week, which we're going to preview in a second. But I'm going to start with Fee. Fee, sort of your thoughts on this Patriots-Ravens game. Anything else you want to get out there?
Besides the Ravens are frauds, I think the Patriots have found their identity. I think they've been able to run the ball effectively. Their offensive line is healthy. Cam hasn't turned over the ball. They haven't turned over the ball a lot. Also, I just think that they found something on defense too. I'll give them that too. I don't think this was a very invested game plan by Belichick and the coaching staff. I think it was the first time, I think really in a few weeks, that they were really invested in a game plan, start to finish. Got to give them credit for that. So, I mean, here's the good news. We're going to talk about the Texans, but I'm going to say this. There's a path. I know that we hear on talk radio, but there's a path. Because out of your 4 wins, you beat the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Dolphins. All ahead of you. It's not going to be easy, Patriots fans. I know we're going to dive into it a little bit in a couple of minutes, but there's a path. This game was big. You're going to have something to play for the next 7 weeks, and that's something.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That's what I'm going to say. Powder, your thoughts on the Pats-Ravens game?
It's just like both of you said, just felt like the Patriots kind of had control of it early. I just had a good feeling once the Patriots, I could see they're running the ball effectively. You saw them getting chunk plays with running, and Lamar Jackson never really looked comfortable in the pocket, and he moved around, but we were able to contain him a lot. So just a good game to watch the Patriots play up to the competition. I feel like there's been a few games they played down to the competition and got beat by teams they should never lost. But I also think now that's been a few weeks removed from all the COVID stuff and player like Cam looks a little better. I think definitely there were some side effects that people didn't know about from COVID. I just feel like you could see them struggle for a couple weeks because they weren't practicing consistently. They didn't have everybody there. And I think now that they're healthy and they're away from that, you just see they're playing as a team. Everybody's playing well. The offense, like Fee said, the whole line is healthy. Like you can really see they're able to run the ball. And even when Cam can pass it, like he looks a lot better than he did a couple weeks ago. And then the defense just is starting to play to what the Patriots defense normally can play as.
Definitely agree. There are improvements and we're seeing it evidently. So yes, right on with that. I think we've covered this game pretty well. I mean, it was, there was a lot of positive signs. Now you're going into Houston. Houston is 2-7 this year. And by the way, little tidbit for you guys. What has been the bread and butter of the Patriots offense right now? Just what has it been? Very basic. Running the football. You know who's last in rush defense, who's given up the most rush yards per game? That would be the Houston Texans, giving up 167.4 yards per game. So for anybody that wants to do simple math teacher here, so I'm going to help you out. About 170 yards per game they're giving up on the ground. So if you're the Patriots, your identity is power running, run the ball. You have two good running backs, Damian Harris and Rex Burkhead. You have James White still in the backfield that can catch passes for you on screens and checkdowns if need be. So you're probably going to see a lot of it again. And honestly, I think the Patriots are going to run the ball right down the Texans' throats. And it's going to be great to see. And we're going to see this team back to 500. Okay. So I'm going for my final score prediction. Patriots 28, Texans 17. I think the Patriots right the ship. They get to 5-5, which sets up a big matchup the following Sunday at Gillette against Arizona. So I'm feeling very confident about this team heading into Houston. I will say one more thing, though, and then I'll kick it to you guys. It could be a little bit of a trap game because Houston's not good. You just beat Baltimore, who's supposed to be a big perennial contender in the AFC. So I can understand why people might think this is a little bit of a trap game. So I have it in the back of my head, but I still think the Patriots take care of business in this one. Powder, we'll go to you first, then we'll go to Fee. Go ahead.
I just don't think – I agree this could be a trap game, but I don't think Belichick's going to let that happen. I think after this win against the Ravens, he's a little more, like you guys both said, it seems like they're a little more focused. The coaching staff seems a little bit better. I don't think Bill Belichick will let the Patriots lose this game so they can have the chance to make the playoffs. And I think it's going to be a 31-21 game. I think Patriots give up a couple points, but I just think they're going to run the ball and control the ball and win this game pretty easily.
All right, Fee, hit us.
I think the Patriots are going to win. I think that they're going to actually have a lot of success in the play-action pass. I think Jacoby Myers is going to have another big game. Damian Harris is going to have another big game. Like I said a little earlier, if you win this game, you have a path. You really have a path. Because even you have a path. I'll say this: Patriots are going to win. I'll actually piggyback on you, Al. 28-17. But I'll say this: the path. And I think we can talk about this a little bit, just a tiny bit. But if you win this game, you got 6 games coming up that are winnable. You can win. I'm not saying you can run the table, but you're going to be in every game. And even though you are behind teams, like I said, you beat the Raiders, you beat the Dolphins, and you've beaten the Ravens. So you've beaten teams that are ahead of you. A lot of the teams ahead of you are playing against each other in the next few weeks. If you just handle your business, if the Patriots handle their business and win games, they might be the 6th or 7th seed, say, by mid-December, by that stretch run where they have to play AFC East teams the final 3 weeks. That's possible. That's honestly a scenario, but they have to handle their business. This is a big step forward. Because if they win this game, then you have something to play for the final 6 weeks and for your season. So that's very important.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You beat Houston on Sunday. You're 5-5. Then you got Arizona at home. Call me crazy, but I think you can beat Arizona. I'm not saying that Arizona's not good, but I just think there's a part of them that they're a little bit inconsistent. I mean, it took them a lucky Hail Mary. Shout out to DeAndre Hopkins, by the way. That was a hell of a catch.
I wouldn't say that they're lucky. I think they're a good football team, but I think with the high of this game, and I think they're going to beat the Seahawks on Thursday night. They're due for a letdown. They're going to be due for another letdown.
Right.
And 1 o'clock, it might be nasty weather. Might be the Patriots' advantage. The Cardinals' defense is a little leaky on defense, so that's just something I just want to add to that. But again, it's just the teams that are ahead of you. The Titans and Colts got to play each other one more time. The Titans and Ravens have to play this Sunday.
Right.
And do you really trust the Cleveland Browns, even though they're 6-3? Do you really trust them?
No. Well, it's not that I trust them. It's that their strength of schedule is so in their advantage. They still have to play the Eagles. They still have to play the Giants. They still have to play the Jets. They have a very easy schedule coming down the stretch.
But I'll say this: they don't trust Baker. They don't. So that's
right.
And they've only scored 16 points in the last 2 games. That being said, I think the only team that you really, I mean, maybe it's Miami and the Raiders, but Miami, you got to play Miami, and Miami has to play Buffalo, and Miami has to play Kansas City down the stretch. Granted, Miami does have 3 straight softies for the next 3 weeks, but you have a chance. You just have to win your game.
Yes. take care of business. Like we said, you got the Texans, you got the Cardinals, you got the Chargers, who down the stretch, they find ways to lose games and they just get unlucky. So I think the Patriots can pull in there. The Rams have been surprising this year. I think that the Patriots are going to have a little tougher time with the Rams, I think, than I originally thought going into the season. So it is what it is. Then you have 3 division games. You got Miami, Buffalo, and the Jets. You know you can beat all 3 of those teams. You have beaten 2 of those teams. And the third team you lost to because of a fumble late in the game and you were at your opponent's 15-yard line. So you know that those 3 games down the stretch can be critical for you if you take care of business on Sunday against Houston, and then we'll see what happens against the Cardinals. But I'm excited for it because it looks like we're going to have a fun, exciting last 6 weeks of football like Fiesta alluded to. So stay tuned for that. And obviously next week, we'll cover the Texans game. We'll get more in depth with the Cardinals game the following week. Enough about the Patriots. We're going to move on to the Boston Celtics. So again, if you're listening to this, we're recording on Tuesday, November 17th. The draft is Wednesday, November 18th. And there are a lot of rumors flying around. Like we talked about in the roll call too. Drew Holiday is now a Milwaukee Buck. And now there's more rumors coming out there. We got rumors flying all over the place. Literally, boom, 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 coming from every which way. James Harden and Gordon Hayward. Those are the 2 names you got to really be on the lookout for the next couple of days. Gordon Hayward, the date that Gordon Hayward has to opt into his player option for the last deal, which is a $34.2 million option in the last year of his 4-year deal. That's coming up on Thursday now. It was originally scheduled for tonight, 5:00 p.m. That got moved. Something's telling me, and I think something's telling Fiesta, maybe even Powder too, that this could be a little way of saying Gordon Hayward's probably gone. Or maybe there's an extension in the works. We don't know. But if we had to take an educated guess, probably because Gordon Hayward's going to be out the door. Now, if that's the case, there have been a couple rumors. James Harden, he wants out of Houston. The Brooklyn Nets, they're making an aggressive push to try to get him, to try to team him up with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. But also, the Boston Celtics are making a push too. And there's rumors out there. You know, we talked before about Miles Turner coming from Indiana. You could include Hayward in a trade there. There's also been reports now with James Harden that maybe you tried to trade away Kemba Walker and Gordon Hayward and some picks to try to get young assets back in return. So there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on in the land of Celtics news. So really quick, Fiesta, would you like to break it down a little bit more for us, please?
Well, the latest, actually, I'll start with Gordon Hayward from Yahoo. Who had it? Let me look. Give me a second. So Hayward, latest rumors, Atlanta Hawks interested in acquiring Gordon Hayward. That's not necessarily the best news you want to hear because they have a lot of cap space and they can sign him. But I guess that they are trying to create a trade. So there's a rumor with the 6th pick, John Collins, Clint Capella. I mean, Clint Capella and the Celtics have been rumored for a long time with that. So there's that rumor. The James Harden thing, this is actually just Mark Murphy of the Boston Globe, I believe it is, or Herald, tweeted out the Celtics are interested in James Harden, but James Stewart, a 98.5 producer of Falcon Maz, has said he's heard something different. So we're having a source up, and from the original B Scoops from Yahoo, I believe, has said that the Celtics are frantically trying to get a deal created. So we're having a source off right now. I will say this, that the Hayward news, specifically with the Hawks, tells that something is a brewing. And I think that in any case, that if you do try to trade for James Harden, I mean, there was a rumor, kind of set the backdrop. The Celtics did offer Hayward and 3 firsts for Drew Holiday. The Chicago Bulls did talk to the Celtics about Kemba Walker. It seems like they're trying to get him off the book. It seems like they are, to get assets to make a trade for a guy like Harden. But I'll say this, if you are going to get Harden, and you don't want to trade Jaylen Brown, you have to have a 3-team trade. I just want to put that out there. You have to have a 3-team trade. Because I mean, Mark Murphy said he's a trusted guy for the Herald. Said no interest.
I was going to bring that up. I just saw that. Yep.
So you do have a source off going on. So there's something going on. So either the Celtics didn't want this to get out too quickly, or there is no interest. But I think in the end, in my opinion, and I'll let you guys talk, and if you have questions for me, I can try to answer. I do think Gordon Hayward moves. I think the move that does happen is they get a big, they get some bench scoring, and they get a backup point guard, which I'll be fine with. That was what I thought they needed to do in the beginning. But it is 2020. If they are, and it seems like they are in play part. I don't know if they're going to get Harden, but if they are, and you don't give up Jaylen Brown, and you can have a Brown, Tatum, Harden trio, I'm sorry, you might have to do it. But that's my thoughts. I'll let you guys talk.
So here's the thing. I have two questions really quick for both of you, and these are just going to be quick answers. Number one, do we see Gordon Hayward being a Celtic past Thursday's deadline? I'm saying no.
No.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. Gordon Hayward's going to be gone. So by the time you're listening to this, or this is up on YouTube, Gordon Hayward's probably no longer a Celtic. So we're all in conclusion with that. Now, here's the second question. If James Harden ends up coming here, are you going to be happy that he's here? Just real quick, yes or no?
Yes. But not a firm yes.
I'll be quick. It depends on what you give up. If you don't give up Jaylen Brown, yes. If you have to, it's going to be a tough sell, but to get a potential top 5 player, it's like...
Now see, sorry, finish your thought.
No. I'm like, it's a top 5 player, so it's like, can you really complain at the end of the day?
You can't. So I'm almost on the side of Powder here. You make a good point, Fee. It's a top 5 player, top 10 player in the NBA. I think part of it depends on the actual return, which is fine. I understand that. But I'm thinking almost in terms of Kyrie Irving that I don't think Harden has the same sort of mentality and attitude as Kyrie Irving, but you have to think James Harden, very ball heavy type of player. He needs the ball in his hands. So that's the only thing that worries me a little bit. Can he coexist with having Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown if you don't trade Brown and having other guys in the fold? That's my only concern.
So I'll actually can rebuttal that. Just that in Houston, James Harden did not have consistent scorers around him. Yeah, Russell Westbrook is a good athlete, can score, but he's not a shooter. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum can shoot the basketball. They can shoot threes pretty effectively. Comparing to the ISO rate, Kyrie had a higher ISO rate than James Harden. Also, I'll say this, James Harden turned down $50 million per year to potentially get traded somewhere. So I think that he realizes his basketball, he understands that he's a great basketball player, but to be a legend, he has to get the ring. And it's either here or Brooklyn. I know that there was rumors of the Sixers, but it seems like the Rockets have given the finger to Morey on this, and they're not going to trade him to the Sixers. So it's either Boston or Brooklyn. I think it would help Tatum and Brown because they're older now. They're going to be Brown's on his second contract. Tatum's about to sign his second contract. They're young, but they're not that young anymore. So it's just like you got to be like, okay, we got to see what we got. We got to go on. But I don't know.
Powder, any final thoughts?
I just want to see the Celtics get better. If getting the James Harden trade done is something that will get them better. I agree with you, Al. Like, I'm a little nervous with his ball handling, but how Fiesta kind of explained it, it makes me see that maybe he won't just sit there with the ball the whole shot clock and just shoot a three. But yeah, he's a top 5 player in the NBA, so I wouldn't complain too much of having him along with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
I think it's this too, and we're sort of going to wrap up with this final take here. I think it's that for years we've been like, okay, Celtics, like they're going to make a big move, and they're rumored to a lot of players, but then obviously a lot of those moves don't happen. So now, like, I'm fully expecting tomorrow for the Celtics to, just because of the way it's been the past couple of years, for them to make their 3 draft picks.
So I do have something else that it just per Keith Smith. So one team that could scuttle the Celtics potential sign and trade is the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks could sign Hayward outright for cap space. It's something to keep an eye on if Hayward wants Atlanta. The only other thing that makes sense is throwing Atlanta a second pick to do it for a signing trade. Even if Hayward was to sign there no matter what, this would create the league's largest trade exception in the NBA. Then Boston opens up different trade options for themselves. So there's something going on that necessarily, if that does happen, if you get that trade exception, you have the largest trade exception in basketball, you can use that in a trade to potentially get a superstar. I'm just saying, that's one little tip that I want to throw out to you guys. I know we're doing math here. I know that's not sorry, Mr. Teacher, but yeah, I mean, I do think Hayward moves at the end. I don't know if it's for Harden, but I'm very interested that Danny is seeing the sense of urgency, especially with the Tatum and Brown timeline. I like it. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens is right. I'm interested to see what happens within the next couple of days. Maybe Trader Danny will live up to his name. We'll see what happens.
It's an order, Danny.
Make the trade, Danny. Anyways, final thoughts before we head out for the night. Anything?
Just congrats to Kim Yang, or Young, however you say her last name, on being the first female GM. Now, hopefully that opens up spots. If you read my article on Couch Guy Sports, I kind of say it should just be blind resume. I don't care if you're white, black, female, gay, straight, whatever. It does not matter. It should be a blind resume, basically, and whoever fits best gets the job. Shouldn't matter what you are.
Solid agree, Powder. Fee, any final thoughts?
I mean, when this is released, there will be news. I'm just saying, fans, the Celtics are going to make a move. It might not be hard. It may be, again, but I think Gordon Hayward's days are numbered, and you're going to get good bench pieces in return. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I like it that the Celtics are acknowledging that it's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's team, or it's their timeline.
Legends Lingo Podcast, episode 95. Here it is for you guys. A lot of Patriots, a lot of Celtics, a little Red Sox tidbit. Bench coach named Will Venable from the Chicago Cubs. Very cool move. Former guests, Jared Carabas and Rob Bradford, both had it first. So that was kind of cool. Be on the lookout because we have episode 100 coming up. We're only 5 episodes away from episode 100. We've already got some big
fast.
Coming real fast. Faster than Powder and me running combined, but Powder's a lot faster than me, so I can give him that. We have a lot coming. 100 on our 100th episode. We already have a few confirmed guests that are going to come back on with us. We might even have a new guest coming in. You never know. So we'll see what happens. Again, couchguysports.com, couchguysportshop.com. Buy our merch, buy everything that's going on. Jump on the bandwagon now. Manscaped, 20% off and free shipping with the promo code LLP. Nothing else. We got Powder. We got Fiesta. Got myself, Al. Thank you for listening to episode 95. Thank you for watching on YouTube episode 95. And we will see you next week for episode 96.
Yes, sir.